If you are using Scale Agile framework, at the end of the program increment, there is something called innovation sprint. Or you may not use SAFe, but you still want to have an innovation sprint every quarter. From the team perspective, that is something cool. We finally get to do some other things than just development and work and work and more work. But from the management perspective, nobody wants to have that. That's a waste of time. If the development team is not working for a sprint, what we are going to do? We are going to go bankrupt. No. You need to develop, no innovation sprint. If you learned it in this video, chances are that you are looking for what you can do inside this innovation sprint so you can sell it to your management, or you may be a manager looking on how I can get the most out of this innovation sprint. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 11 innovation sprint ideas that you can try inside your teams. Let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Anca. I'm an Agile coach and I'm specialized in scaling Agile. I did a lot of SAFe implementations inside big corporations and also in smaller teams that are in the position of scaling the Agile implementation. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how I turned this innovation sprint into a win-win situation between development teams and managers. So let's get started. If you are new to this channel, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, click on the bell button to get notifications. I'm releasing one video every week. And now let's jump into our topic of today. Innovation sprint is a big name. And in general, when we say innovation, we tend to think that only Google, only Apple, they do innovation. What we do is just something simple that customer needs, but we are not Apple, we are not Facebook, we are not these giant ones that bring a lot of cool things on the market. Well, I have a news for you. If you are working for Google, for Tesla, a lot of the things that you are doing every single day, they seem normal, not special. However, innovation is beyond launching something extraordinary on the market. Innovation is anything new that will bring it to your product. And when I'm saying anything new, think about it as a new perspective. But not only, testing before creating, that is innovation. So in this video, I will share with you 11 things, 11 alternatives that you can have as part of your innovation sprint. So let's get started. The most classical thing that we usually do during the innovation sprint is design thinking. And the purpose of design thinking is to test, is to minimize the costs of implementation. Because if you are going to develop something, then put it in front of customer eyes to realize that what they want is slightly different, then you better know it before you develop it, because the cost is huge. So using design thinking methods, you can test before you build. And you can think about, and I'm going to link down below an article on 31 design thinking processes that you can try. And they come from prototyping, which is even less than prototyping. You can have the design sprint, the Google methodology that a lot of companies are doing nowadays. You can have sessions with users giving feedback. You can do research, you can do spikes, and it really all is limited to the magnitude of your budget. But this is something that if you do it, you need to think on what you are trying to achieve. What are the costs that you are trying to minimize? I'm going to launch a new functionality. If I'm doing a quick prototype in a week together with my team and I invite my customers to see their first reactions, that will allow me to make the tweaks what I'm going to implement before I start the implementation, and that will ensure me that there is a market, that there are some customers that are really wanting to do it. Alternative number 2, Finding solutions to the technical issues. Before the innovation week, ideally you are going to have a retrospective, or you can even start an innovation week with a retrospective. Inside this retrospective, you look behind on the last quarter, on the last 4 sprints, inside the program increment if you are using SAFe, and you want to see what are the technical issues that you are facing. You may have repetitive bugs, you may have slow deployments, you may have regressions, you may have technical issues. Identify these technical problems that you are facing over and over again, and now take some time together as a team and look for solutions. Ideally, you are going to implement something that will help you to speed up afterwards, or will eliminate completely these technical barriers. Or you can research on possible options, you can try multiple solutions, you can meet vendors that sell certain solutions, you can even get a consultant that will work with the team to set up some improvements. And this is part of what you can do inside your innovation sprint, resolving technical problems. Alternative number 3, it is grow your team knowledge. Getting knowledge about a new technology, about a new tool, about soft skills, about anything that you can think about that your team needs to become more efficient, to deliver more functionalities or new functionalities. You can use this innovation sprint to get them this knowledge. And to be honest, sometimes in one of my teams we organize knowledge cafe, to call it like that, when everyone was learning about certain topics or they were experts in certain topics, and they were making a mini class for their colleagues to share their knowledge, and in that way everyone was learning some basic skills that helped them in their job. For example, the quality insurance engineers were were training the team with some quick tools that they can use to test before even making the code available for the testing team to test. And that helped in the upcoming sprints to decrease tremendously the number of bugs. And people felt even better. Imagine how much you can deliver if you can catch your own bugs before they come back through all the feedback loop. Number 4, product backlog refinement for the upcoming program increment or for the upcoming quarter. When you think about innovation, no, it's not only about implementing something new, it's about also gaining clarity. We have this moment in which we are thinking, all right, we are going to develop these functionalities. How can we optimize the development? How can we put all the bricks together? What else we need if in 6 months we want to implement something else? What is the foundation that we need to do? All these discussions should better happen before you start the implementation, and the innovation sprint is the place to have them. And that is going to help you also to estimate what you can deliver in the upcoming product increment. And alternative number 5, prepare for the system demo. The system demo is the general demo in which we show everything that has been developed in the last 3 months, in the last 4 sprints of the program increment. And if you are a huge company that has to bring together like 20 teams, which was my case in many of the SAFe implementations that I did, you better work with them to make a smooth flow end to end, to make a demo that makes sense for the customers, for the potential users, and everything goes smooth. And in my experience, this is not just making sure the screens are working, that everyone can present, but sometimes these pieces that have to come all together in one logical flow, they need tweaks, they need development, they need adjustments, they need testing. And in the innovation sprint is the moment to do it. And that takes me to point number 6, which is fine-tune the features. When we are bringing everything together for the system demo, actually we realized that, maybe that should go slightly different. Maybe I should have this text. Maybe this is how we can offer a better user experience. Those things are, the innovation sprint is exactly the moment when you can do all of these things. Use the space. to make your product shine. Use this space to polish your product. Of course, you are not going to do new big development in this innovation sprint because it's way too less time, but you can definitely fine-tune your features. And number 7, go live. If you had this stress on when do we go live, and sometimes after you go live you need to have a high intensity support time, then now is the moment to go live. Everyone is together, everyone is prepared. There is absolutely nothing else to commit to than going live, putting these functionalities available for your customers. And number 8 is refactoring. We do a lot of development, we provide the features, and we arrive at the end and we realize how we can optimize the code. And refactoring is something very standard in software development. It is a common procedure. It should happen regularly as we learn, as we add more components, as we add more functionalities into our code. It is necessary to refactor and make that a habit. And as refactoring can go as small or as big as you give space, why not to dedicate the innovation sprint to refactor, make your code better, prepare it for the upcoming functionalities. And I'm going to point number 9. Work together with the team to improve collaboration. Do team buildings. Get them to know each other. Set up processes that will help you to optimize the way you work together. You can have a retrospective, you can have it like tiny groups of people that work on certain problematics, and they come with a solution that becomes a standard, and they teach all the others how to do it. And tip number 10, team building. Team buildings are very important, especially if you have a lot of people, because you know when the teams are small, everything happens at a human level, and most of the times it's like everyone knows each other and it's getting a nice atmosphere. When there are more people, it's quite hard to know each other, or also on a day-to-day basis we talk about work. But we forget about the humans that we are. And when it comes to humans, there is no process in this world, there is no technology in this world that can overtake what we can accomplish if we are a team. And I'm sure there are a lot of videos out there on the internet and a lot of articles and a lot of companies that are specialized in team building activities. So I'm just going to go to the next step. Finish work. In the innovation sprint is really the moment that if you have something that wasn't finished, now is the moment to finish it. Because if you don't finish it, we start a new sprint, we start a new program increment, and we carry over a weight that is going to come against us. If you know that's the case, you need to fine tune, you need to finish certain functionalities to really make them available, do it now. Wow, as you could see, 11 alternatives to the innovation sprint. You don't need to be Google to have an innovation sprint, and you can see there are many things you can do to use this time for your company to grow in an innovative way. I hope you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, click on the bell button to get notifications. I'm releasing one educational video every single Tuesday, so I will see you next week.